Tell us, Ryan, how is this gonna become?
In our 2-year update video, we gave a brief glimpse into what we referred to as HOBBITVILLE. Retreat ruins, uninhabited and uninhabitable by humans for decades, full of junky keepsakes, rotting roofs, and trash. We slowly sorted through the rubble while keeping it kapu, or off-limits, until we were ready to tackle this large project.
Step 1 was to clear the overgrowth consuming the structures, demolish some of the unrecoverable parts, and clean it out. This was no small task, and it took many hands and hours over the span of 2 years. Step 2 was to design a plan to remodel the existing rooms, to make an attached bathroom, entryway, and bedroom using primarily repurposed materials scavenged from the ruins.
So this was totally built by this man and helpers, of course. And that is a toilet. You don't see it yet, but it is. This is a repurposed bathtub. This is a table repurposed as a window. This looks beautiful, hon.
Yeah, I see you put a little curve in it.
It's nice. Let's take a moment to appreciate those.
Painting and final touches made for quite a dramatic transformation. There's still work to be done, but it is now one of our favorite spots in the retreat. In January of 2023, our neighbor Sandy donated her 30-foot, 9-meter yurt to our foundation. She had lived in it for 5 years, and it got damaged being disassembled and moved, so resurrecting it at Earthsong would be a long and arduous process. After removing thick, invasive plants, we got to work clearing a spot for the concrete foundation, chosen for its durability and strength. The winter weather here made the journey more difficult, with rain and strong winds making for a race against the elements to keep things dry.
As the concrete set, we buried Lemurian quartz crystals and our prayers into the foundation for the will of the divine to be done in the yurt as it is in heaven. We put the lattice skeleton back together with the help of a few friends and without the use of machines. It was a tedious process.
Ryan hoisted the ring structure up on his shoulders while the first roof pieces were set in place. With painstaking persistence, it finally all came together. Meanwhile, we hosted a month-long permaculture and yoga teacher training adjacent to the build. We have a full-length video all about this experience that included cooking 3 meals a day, all while working every day to finish the yurt. We got the roof and walls up just in time for the yogi's graduation day. It was the perfect way to bless and activate the space. Later, we asked local artist Damon Delaney to paint the floors and bring the energy of the ocean that surrounds us inside the yurt. Artist in residence Una Bella also painted this dragonfly onto the shutters. We call this space the Cosmic Yurt, a multi-purpose, multi-dimensional gathering place. Pay attention to what you see here, because everything is about to change. To begin, this 3-level treehouse structure built on ohia posts was very rustic and rundown, like most of the retreat. We decided to give it quite a facelift.
We decided to enclose half the outdoor deck to add a kitchenette and indoor living space. We opened it up to feel more spacious, repaired the roof, put in new flooring, and painted it. Except for a few plywood sheets, most everything, including the windows, were reused or repurposed. As it goes here, this build was going on simultaneously with several other projects. So, the treehouse was being worked on in pieces over time, and we are continuing to refine it. Thanks to its location facing the ocean and trade winds, it often feels like you're on a sailboat. We removed the exposed wood deck from the temple, more on why we did that later, and built a protected deck under the treehouse, where we now have a simple hot shower and plans for a full sauna and ice bath build-out.
Next to the treehouse and above the temple sits a small and simple space that was being used as a solar dehydrator room when we arrived. The attached deck was beginning to rot, so we rebuilt, repainted, and spruced it all up to become what we call the meditation nook. A cozy little room with an expansive view.
The temple was originally surrounded by a wooden deck, as we mentioned earlier. The weather, though, was rotting the deck before our eyes, although most was still intact. So we decided to repurpose the lumber for the treehouse and in its place build a living deck, or earth berm. After removing the lumber, we built up the berm with a rock retaining wall, filled in with logs and mulch from the land.
The berm was blessed with a puja in April 2023 during the yoga teacher training, and planted with clovers and other flowering ground cover. It is now a beautiful place to enjoy the view, meditate, and gather. This is what the pond at the center of the retreat looked like when we arrived.
This is gonna be a little difficult. It's like a big fork of spaghetti. Oh.
I think we need bigger buckets.
This reflection pond is another project that we have slowly tended to and continually interact with as a living being. After clearing it out, repairing it, and adding water, fish, and plants in and all around it, it is a thriving ecosystem in itself, providing beauty and reflection for all to enjoy. We love hosting artists in residence at Earthsong to bring visions to life with their unique talents, while getting to experience a retreat for themselves, surrounded by the inspiration of nature. This mural, painted on the exterior of the temple, is in honor of the goddess of the wind. Here the trade winds flow through the land from off of the ocean 5 miles away. Her song can be heard and her energy felt, purifying, cleansing, and opening our lives. This painting honors and reveres the elemental and ancestral spirits that protect this land. In time we will get stronger. Artist and musician Karen Chroma brought the wind goddess to life, and she also adorned us with her body paint skills. Earthsong is a never-ending art piece, and we welcome artists of all kinds to be a part of it with us.
It is our privilege to tend and care for this land, and it is forever ongoing. It includes continual composting of biomass and pruning of mature fruit trees, as well as a managed culling of overstory trees that grow tall and shade out the understory, or pose dangers to structures. We mulch or make biochar, and use our milled lumber and bamboo for construction, and the mulch for our walking paths and garden beds. There is food and medicine growing all over the land in abundance. For this video, we'll focus on the 1/4 acre that had 7-foot tall invasive grasses that we cleared. We planted several garden beds in its place. With consistent tending, they are now flourishing. We use the beds as a nursery for fruit trees as well, in addition to growing vegetables, herbs, and lots of leafy greens. In 2024, we were awarded a grant from the Natural Resource Conservation Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture to support Earthsong in selective removal of invasive species and cultivation of a biodiverse agroforestry system. This 3-year grant will complement our ongoing efforts to improve the existing food forest, free of any chemicals or use of machinery beyond a chainsaw and wood chipper.
We welcome donors, volunteers, and collaborators to join us in service to Nā Mele o ka Āina. From sowing seeds, tending trees, harvesting and processing, keeping things clean in a tropical environment, it really does take a village. Fortunately, we're living in an agricultural community where we get to share tips, seeds, meals, and morale with one another. We have connected with many crazy, beautiful souls in our time on this island.
And the band begins to play.
Glide. We're gonna glide like light, sunlight, beaming love to everyone. We are one with the infinite sun, spin forever and ever and ever. Underway. We are one with the infinite sun, forever and ever and ever. Kuate.
We couldn't have made the progress we have here without the support of many. No matter how brief, each incarnation of community that has come alive here has contributed in some great way to our growth. A special shout out to our Keiki community members who keep us focused on what's most important. They teach us how to play and how to be fully present. We are so grateful to get to be an auntie and uncle to many young visitors.
It's the job that seems endless, doesn't it? But it's also kind of nice to be outside in the dirt, huh?
Yeah, I know.
With the trees. Pretty peaceful, huh?
Yeah.
In the last year, we have held a mix of gatherings with an emphasis on music.
You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
In addition to intimate concerts, we've held ecstatic dance medicine gatherings and sound healing ceremonies. We've been blessed to collaborate with our talented community on all of these offerings. Our weekly donation-based yoga classes continue to be a staple for our rural community. We also welcome visitors from around the globe for learning immersions to expand our minds and our hearts.
Our intention is to invite people into our way of life, centered around growing food, holistic nutrition, voluntary simplicity, minimizing waste, fostering community, and integrating with our natural environment. We share theoretical and hands-on permaculture education, from planting seeds and building gardens to food cultivation, appropriate technology instruction, and much more. While we are here to offer our knowledge and share the ways, Earthsong itself is a living being for all people to form their own sovereign relationship with. In communion with her, we can receive boundless wisdom and the medicine we need.
We can't escape what this island has to teach us, so it is best to come with a good sense of humor, humility, and an empty coconut from which we can receive all of her lessons.
Slow down so your feet can touch the ground, and the Kundalini serpent can rise through the crown. Slow down, slow down. What can you create from a still and quiet place? Give yourself space. Lay down your weapons, put down your shields, remove your masks, discover what is real.